tragic accident. Like tragic accidents just happen all the time in Carroll County. I'm just saying. It's a very, very unlucky place to live. They dropped the charges because it was accidental. You don't accidentally run over somebody and back up and try to do it again. Let's start from the beginning as investigative reporters, right? So you would ask the questions who, what, where, when, and why. Should be easy, right? Of course it is. Yes, I know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but what good does that do you if you are not alive? Well, hello, my silky friends, and my shady enemies, and any other weirdo who's watching tonight. How you doing? Okay, it looks different. Tell me if you can hear me. Oh my gosh, I still can't see your comments. I don't know if I can make these any bigger or not. Hey there, Carla Ann. Okay, how do I can't highlight them from here. Well, I'm learning. Okay. Let me preface this by saying, yes, this is a whole new platform because I had to, StreamYard was a nightmare. It was just a nightmare. So, I guess I could probably, I know how to make these bigger, but I don't know if I can make them bigger while we're sitting here or not. Let me see. So I changed to EVMux, so I had to redo my whole background. Let's see if this makes them bigger. No, it doesn't. I don't know. There's probably a way I can do this. I just don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I may have to go back and look at your comments again on another screen. Anyway, yeah. So how do you let me know? Can you hear me? I can't. Somebody tell me. Are we getting any interference? Is everything good? Because I'm not sure. Where I'm at. If you can hear me on this mic, I think I've got it turned up enough. But yeah, how do you like the new stuff? I've worked forever on this, trying to get it to do something. And I do apologize for not being on. I did tell you I was going to take the week of Thanksgiving off, and I thought I had done at least one live, but I guess I didn't because I did members only, and no. Then I know I tried, and it was so bad. It was so bad on StreamYard. So let me say hello to everybody. I've missed y'all. I always say that because it's true. So let's start with Deb. How you doing, Deb? ASMR. Carla Ann. Hi, Hiawatha. Teresa. Good to see you. All right, let me not miss anybody. Oh, wait, here we go. All right. Thank you, Mary. Is it the sound? Is it everything is way better? I couldn't do this on StreamYard because it would glitch. I couldn't have a live background or a moving background. There was a lot of things I couldn't do on there. So, Digital, good to see you. I know there's been so much going on. Okay. So much going on in the Delphi community. I figured you'd get it from everybody else, and I was trying to work out my technical problems. So I do know that there were some it's fun doing lives. Um, but anyway, yeah, there were some new documents that came out. I know y'all have already heard about them. We're going to look at it for just a second because it's not really what I want to talk about. Um, Somebody tell me though, how are y'all feeling about the Delphi case? You can tell the video. I'm sure that by the video I put out yesterday. Um, there are some very heartbreaking things. And, I know a lot of people don't believe this and that, and I get it. I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm telling you, this is what I know to be true in as much as you can find out, okay? Uh, it doesn't tell us who the perpetrator was. It still doesn't tell us, it still doesn't tell us if Richard Allen is guilty or not. But what it does tell us, and I'm going to go back and show you tonight. I've been saying this for months and months. Um, and I've told you I'm shadow banned, and that is quite obvious to me. Uh, it's a real thing. So, when I got shadow banned, and I did a whole video about that, I got shadow banned when I started talking about the Illuminati and Freemasonry. Well, I'm not going to shut up. Uh, Although we'll probably talk about some things because I have I think Delphi weighs heavy on everybody, especially when we see the corruption and stuff like that. It's very disheartening. So I do have a few other cases that I'll talk about that in a minute. I think you'll really find it interesting because it's not just individual cases, it's a whole thing to dig into. So, you diggers who love to dig, I've got some things to dig into, and it's quite horrifying. Okay. Um, let's see. I think the Supreme Court could have made the decision. Well, I think they will. That's what the hearing is about. Hello, Yaya. Thank you for sharing it. It's yeah, it's one of those things that I know. This is what puts me on the hit list, and whatever. And let me tell you why I know I'm shadow banned, because I have another channel that I basically abandoned. Some of you know about it. I've made some references to it. I hit on it was a channel that I started when I was doing home renovations back during 2020, and I bought this house and all this kind of stuff. And I really didn't mean for it to be a channel, and then it turned into a channel, but it really wasn't going anywhere. And I decided I wanted to do something different anyway, and I kind of abandoned it. I threw out one or two videos just reading ghost stories, and man, like it just took off. I didn't even check that channel for I don't know, a month or two. I put the video up. I didn't even look and see how it did. And I had I don't know, 150 subscribers from that one video. And I was like, holy moly. But I was too deep into Delphi to mess with that. And, but I've watched it steadily grow. And I did an experiment recently to put a few videos out there and see if they grew, if my channel was growing steadily like Silky Southern had been prior to my opening my mouth. And sure enough, would you believe that? I never. What other Southern saying can I tell you? Yeah, it is growing, and it's a nice little brain break for me. I have fun over there. So I will be on there more, but it just reiterated to me what I already knew, that I'm shadow banned here. Uh, but again, nobody is going to make me shut up. Okay, let me see what you're saying here. All I know, it's way bigger than some dudes committed a crime between 1:30 and 3:30 on February 27th, 20 February 13th, 2017. Lord have mercy. Just my opinion, and mine too. Also digital. I'll tell you, it's my opinion. We all know that. We all know that. And I think when I started digging into this case, I was very naive, like a lot of people. And I thought this was just a case that needed help and some people looking for information. And boy, was I wrong, right? Anybody who's been following this case for a long time, you know that. Uh, yes, Hiawatha. I'm actually surprised they set a hearing. It doesn't happen often at all. No, it doesn't. And let me tell you, that is the one thing that has given me a glimmer of hope. Um, yeah, I think, Digital, you had said, how's everybody feeling after that video yesterday? Yeah, I think somewhere everyone has been feeling that. And I tell you, uh, and I'm not trying to push any kind of belief system on you, okay? This is my opinion and mine only, but I truly believe that this case is never going to be solved or broken open or anything without sincere and strategic prayer. I really do. I don't. If you're a praying person, now's the time. Okay, now's the time. Uh, in the end, I just want to see justice for Abby and Libby, and it's grown so much. It's not just. I mean, that's the primary, but I want to see justice for Carroll County, for Flora, for all of the people who have been unjustly treated, or all the many crimes that we don't talk about. Um, I want to see justice, and I want to see some of this stuff brought out into the light, because it can't continue. Um, so I just that's what I'm saying. If you're a praying person, just pray. Samantha, hello, hello. Uh, Janie Lane, hey there. Uh, let's see what you saying, Mary. Also, they said 70 days for a trial. If that's the case, then Baldwin and Rozzy need to stay on. They are ready to take it to court. These new guys will not have enough time. Yeah. So if they're not going to, and I hope if they decide, I hope they don't say, okay, yeah, you can have a speedy trial in 70 days, but not reinstate Baldwin and Rossi, because that would be a disaster. There is no way someone can be ready for that. So we're talking about, January 18th. We'll look at that document in just a second. The hearing, and then, uh, what is it, 70 days from then? Well, they have to rule on it. If they rule on it that day or not, whatever. So we're looking at probably April, which is a whole lot better for Richard Allen and everybody than October. But yeah, I'm hoping that it gives me hope. The fact that they're going to hear this at least is something. Um, Digital says, I think if Gull hadn't actually corrected her court records, they might have granted both. I wonder, but now the hearing's not till already, mid January. I wonder if Baldwin and Rossi will be ready. Are they, it kind of makes me wonder, what are you doing? Are you behind the scenes still going over this in your head, even if you're not looking at stuff, how you would do this case? I don't know. Uh, that would be the best case scenario, in my opinion, because of all the work they've done on it, and because right, wrong, whatever, they have the most knowledge, and this thing doesn't need to keep dragging out. Um, Hello, Raggedy Susan. How you doing? All right. Let me go down here and catch up with you. Okay. Mary says, I'm saying there shouldn't have been a hearing. The decision should have come out yesterday with everything else. Passing the buck. Well, the thing, though, they wanted, and this is in that document, the thing they wanted to do is have, they set aside 60 minutes, which, in my understanding, is kind of a big deal because they're giving each side equal time to present, their cases or say what they're going to say. And the Supreme Court, if you know anything about the Supreme Court, they usually just deal in documents. Like, it's rare that they do this kind of thing. They look at just the documents, and like when a case goes up there, you don't have a whole trial like you do, for the first time in the Supreme Court. They just go over the stuff and make a decision based on the evidence that they see. So the fact that they want to hear people gives me a little bit of hope. I mean, maybe I just live in a fantasy world. Who knows? But I hope that means that they are taking this seriously. That's just my opinion, but I'm hoping. Janie Lane, I'm heartbroken by this case and the dark corridors it has led me down. Have seen a much longer trek than the short time I've spent here. Yeah, yeah. Uh, the dark corridors. Wow, what can I say about that? It's been a year, over a year now, I think, for me, going down those dark corridors, and I think that's why I needed a break. The deeper you go, the darker it gets. They don't have any light bulbs down. There ain't no electricity down there. Once you go too far down the rabbit hole, it's just all dark. Uh, so it definitely it can weigh on you. Uh, hey, Four Pets, how you doing? Freedom, liberty, and justice. Yes. Samantha, I think if anything, bits and pieces may come out over a couple of decades down the road. Um, you could be right. That reminds me too. Hey there, Connor. Good to see ya. Um, this is why. Yeah, you hear me refer to this all the time, but the case I covered months ago, Boys on the Tracks, it was actually in 3 parts, but that case right there, it reminds me of Delphi. It was all they know who did it, okay? So many people were red rummed. Y'all know what that is, right? I'm going to say that instead of unaliving sometimes. So many people were red rummed during that time that the witnesses and everything, it seemed like that case could never be solved because they couldn't prove it. But there were some more witnesses in the woodwork. They know exactly who did it. They know exactly what it was about, what they were covering up. Yes, law enforcement was involved and an attorney. Like, the parallels are crazy in this case. But yet, all these decades later, no one has ever been prosecuted for it. Now, that is a case that will make you mad, and I hope and pray that Delphi is not going to be left in the same, you know, stack as that. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, yeah. My hope is that the feds are watching and maybe gathering info behind the scenes. I hope so too. Somebody needs to be watching. I'm not sure who are the good guys though. I'll just tell you, the further down the rabbit hole you go, uh, the more disheartened I guess I'd say you get. Um, yes, they are. Yeah, yeah, they are going to have a live feed. I've heard that, and it's going to start right before 11, and I think be up until 1 o'clock, and on January 18th. So I don't know what day of the week that is. I haven't looked it up yet. I hope I'm off that day. If not, I need to take off that day. Because I definitely want to hear that as it's going on. Janie Lane, did you guys see the story of the family who was awarded $7 million after he starved to death over 20 days in solitary? Oh, wow, down in southern Indiana. No, I didn't hear about that case. Starved to death over 20 days. Y'all, I can't even with this. Uh, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. And even $7 million is not enough when you're putting a price on a life. So okay, Hiawatha says it makes me wonder if they're working with the new defense. Because they're having the hearing? I hope. Oh, I don't know. I say I hope not. I don't know anything about these people. They might be great. Doesn't seem like they have a reputation of being that great, but what do I know? Uh, I just want to see justice. Everything, the whole truth to come out. Lay it all out on the table. Throw it out. Let all the pieces fall, and let's see what we got. That's what I'm saying. Does it usually go that way? No, it doesn't. Uh, okay. Yeah, that place, where is it? Let me think. Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. They did. Actually, they've had a lot of deaths there, and it's quite shocking. Uh, I was all excited that he was getting moved, and then I read some of the reviews on it. But y'all, now let me just tell you this. Maybe I'll do it for members only. I read some of the reviews of the prison by prisoners, and it was really fun. Or I guess, I don't know, by ex people or people writing funny reviews, saying things like the food is terrible, the size of the room. Anyway, kind of like you would review a hotel. It's funny stuff. Uh, I know it was tongue in cheek, but it was still pretty hilarious. Um, but yeah, they don't have a good reputation either. All right. Let me catch up with you. Hi, Mommy Wolverine. Good to see ya. For pits, they usually side with the state, unfortunately. I do know that is often the case. Um, uh, it's true, they do. But I'm hoping that maybe because people are causing such a stir and such a fuss, again, I just want to see the whole truth come out, all right? I just want to see due process. That's it, due process. And I don't think the way that they did it was correct. And you know what? That affects me. That affects you. I've said it 100 times. That is my issue with Goal and the way that whole thing went down. Um, it's not just going to affect Richard Allen. It can and will affect all of us. Carla Ann says, I bet the next lowest actor on that crime team is sweating. They may need another fall guy. Well, here's the thing. We know that there are other people involved. Yeah, we. Am I back? Okay, I don't know what just happened. Probably my crappy internet. This is what happens when you live, in Podunk, Alabama. Uh, hey, CJ. Good to see ya. You may already be gone by now. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Um, yeah, I guess I was frozen. Now I don't know what that was. It says it was syncing. It definitely could be my internet though. It ain't the best. Um, okay. Kelt. Hi Kelt, how you doing? Good to see ya. Love that little puppy dog. That little icon is so cute. Oh, it's on a Thursday, Yaya says. Ah. Well, I work every other Thursday, so I hope it'll be one of the Thursdays that I'm off. We'll see. I guess I missed some kind of controversy in here. Well, okay, look. You know what? I don't know how to do this. Who all are just look. Y'all be nice. I'm on this new thing. I don't know how to mod from here. I should probably do it on my phone, but I know I've got mods in the house. Just be nice. People can have their opinion. Just be nice. I'm not taking sides. Hey, let's not, okay? Would somebody put some of these people in a timeout? Let's just take up look, there's plenty of platforms to argue on, all right? This ain't one of them. I don't mind trolls if they're funny. Just be funny if you're going to troll. All right. I have not heard any updates on how Rick is doing. Uh, all right. Yeah. All right. I got behind. Oh, you took care of it. Okay. Yeah. Look, I know people uh people need to just respect the fact that other people have opinions, whatever. Like, you can dislike somebody, just don't do it. Go get on Facebook or wherever social media they are. Go do it somewhere else. All right. Thank you all for the drama free zone. All right. Yeah. See, I was behind and I just saw that. All right. So let's take a look because, we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see what happens. Look it works. Y'all can see all the chat on the in the chat box, right? I hope you can, and it's not just a box taking up space over there. I, honest to God, can't read this thing. Even with my glasses on and this being big, I can barely see it. But yeah, this is the document that came out. I don't think it says anything differently than what we've already been talking about. the attorneys have to file an acknowledgement. I'm sure that will happen. And yeah, January 18th, 2024 at 11 a.m. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen in that. Hope for the best. Do a lot of praying, y'all. That's all I've got to say. Do a lot of praying. Because I think we're at the point, we've already been at this point, but we're definitely at the point now. We need some divine intervention. All right. But what I wanted to go back on, and yeah, I figure most of you have seen the video that I put out yesterday, and that was from a sweet, sweet, wonderful friend of mine. We've been talking for months and months, and she got a visit a few months ago, and I didn't tell you when it happened, but I told you later on. I think it's in the shadow band video. She was warned to stay out of the Freemasonry rabbit hole, I guess. And so, because of that, I wanted to make sure that she was not outed. Her name is not, I'm the only one who knows. I have not shared who she is with anybody, and I'm not going to. But she helped me a lot. She helps me a lot and sends me some information that's important. Things that it would just take me a long time to find, you know? So I appreciate you. You know who you are. God, I'm looking at some of these. I can see some of these. You know what? These are funny. I'm just saying. Be nice. Some of your names on here, like, look, it's hysterical. All right, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take you to another video, and I don't have to worry about a copyright strike because it's mine. Yeah, this is you probably saw the beginning. This is a video that I did. I don't know, way before I ever started going live, and these were things that I found, and I just wanted to show you again. Now, I probably will stop some of this video at, from time to time just because I'll probably have to say something. But I wanted to go over and I wanted to go ahead and let me know if it's going to be too loud or not loud enough. I've never done this on here. So, not that I can see chat, but let me back it down just a little bit. All right. These are the kind of things that I wanted to bring back up, okay? And this is about Freemasonry. So watch just a little bit of it right now. So today, we're going even deeper down the rabbit hole in Delphi. Hello, my silky friends. Thank you so much for all of the comments that you have made on my last couple of videos. Amazing. So I wanted to get this video out here today, messy, funky hair and all, because there's so much going on. So let's start with a comment. Now, this is by Keith Griffith. He says, I live in New Haven, Indiana. My dad was a Freemason for about 3 months, then stopped going. Years later, when I received my driver's license, the first thing he said to me was to keep myself out of Peru, Delphi, and surrounding areas. I asked him why. He would only elaborate by saying it's devil's country. I kept persistent on asking, and all he said was to keep away from the people and drop it. Never did he say another word about the Freemasons or Western Indiana. So that was the first thing that I came upon. You know, I forgot about this. Let me just say this. I had completely forgotten about this guy that told me this. And yeah, it was crazy. When I went back to, I was actually looking for something in one of my old videos, and I ended up watching this one, and I was like, oh my gosh. So even all those years back then, he was told it's devil's country. Now, I wouldn't say that just because there's a lot of Freemasonry going on, which is it's everywhere, okay? I wouldn't call that, you know, devil's country, at least overtly, with what you can see. All right. I just found it very interesting with all of the, whether it had anything to do with the, you know, with the red rums. I don't know. Uh, but it's interesting with all the Odinism being brought, you know, to the forefront, that even back then he was told it's devil's country and to stay out of there. I thought that was interesting. And also, there was another viewer. I screenshotted it. I don't know. I've looked all through the comments talking about even deeper secret degrees of Freemasonry. I don't know what happened to that. It was amazing, and I would love to share it with you all. But let's start with this. Before you come at me, I know you will, let me say that I do not believe that all Freemasons are evil people, okay? Especially those in the lower levels. I know a lot of church people, a lot of law enforcement, a lot of everything are Freemasons. So, you know, certainly not everyone is bad. But for those who might not be aware of some things, let's take a look into what I have found. Now, I'm going to start a video with this man who is, and I will leave all the links below, who was a law enforcement officer, and, you know, it was kind of like a brotherhood thing. They invited him to become a part after he had been there for a while, and that's the first part of this story. So it talks about how he got, you know, involved in Freemasonry, and he worked his way up to Master Mason. But what I want you to listen to, and he's out of the brotherhood now, but take a look at what he has to say. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Crime Night played part of this video. Also, it's a very, very good. It's long. It's in different parts, but this guy goes into. I got him in a bad expression, didn't I? But yeah, he's very serious. He's a law enforcement officer, and he will tell you how common. And I did watch his whole whole video, and he goes into a lot more detail on, you know, how he got caught up in this and stuff like that. But it's a very real thing, and it's almost like if you're a business person or someone who wants to have any clout in the community, you are going to have to join the brotherhood. So, and yeah, it's by invitation only, but kind of just listen to what he has to say.
And then not only that, you're sworn to secrecy. Yeah, you sworn never to divulge any information, but to always protect and help your fellow brother. That's it. Gotcha. Or they'll probably, you know, well, you know what, we want to buy you your first ring. Or they'll give you a shield to put in your car. You know what I mean? So everybody sees that your brother, leave you alone. You get special privileges, you know, you get pulled over, cop, have a nice day. Because they're all, yeah.
So the ultimate goal here is that if anybody ever, I guess, approaches somebody,
right,
stay far away from this.
Oh, you're going to have to stay far away from them and run. Don't stay close, because, see, the problem with that is they use the actual word brotherhood as an advantage to them.
What?
But he's a Freemason. But see, if you start exposing them, they'll go after you, they'll go after your family, they'll try to kill you because the government's part of it. It's not only civilians, the government is in cahoots with these people.
Right.
Okay, did you hear that? That is exactly what I've been saying, and why they go after you, they go after your family. Do you understand how dangerous it is to talk about them? And especially if you're trying to say that it expose a crime or corruption in your county. Understand. And this guy, I don't know if he says it in what the clip I've got, but he ran for a long time to finally break free of them. It's the government, and it goes all the way up to the top. Okay. Okay, say what? That would be a big no for me. I found this so disturbing. Looks like I'm doing hand signals, doesn't it? So maybe we could just say this is a disgruntled guy who just wants to bash the Freemasons. Well, let's look at some more evidence. Let's look at a second video about the actual ceremony to become a Master Mason. I found this shocking.
Furthermore, do I promise and swear that I will not speak evil of a brother Master Mason, neither behind his back.
Now, let me say this, okay? I know I'm stopping this video a lot, but it is so hard to find. There was one video that seemed to be more legit. It's so hard to find a reenactment of their rituals that doesn't look like a 7th grade, play. And this is a very old video, so give it give it some grace. But usually when you find them, it looks like a play. It looks like a bad production. Okay. And I don't think that is accurate. I don't think that's the way it actually happens. I think it's much more sinister. But I think that the videos that they don't really come against that much being released are because they're looking at it thinking nobody's going to buy into this. This looks so hokey. And I think they want it that way. Now, that is just my opinion. But this is why you see stuff like this. All right.
Nor before his face, but will apprise him of all approaching danger if in my power. Furthermore, do I promise and swear that a Master Mason's secrets, given to me as such, and I knowing them to be such, shall remain as secure and inviolable in my breast as in his own, to keep and perform the same, binding myself under no less penalty than to have my body severed in twain and divided to the north and south, my bowels burnt to ashes in the center, and the ashes scattered before the four winds of heaven, that there might not be least track or trace of remembrance remain among men or masons of so vile and perjure a wretch as I should be, were I ever to prove willfully guilty of violating any part of this solemn oath and obligation of a Master Mason.
All right. Whoa. So are all of these people just, making this up? Let's look at a completely secular documentary that was done out of the UK.
The Freemason is now a changed man. It's really an internal transformation of who you are by developing greater awareness of the physical, the intellectual, and spiritual world in which you live.
And if the initiate reveals any of its mysteries, the penalty is severe. The Masonic vow promises the oath breaker will suffer a slashed throat, disembowelment, and being burned alive.
You don't tell on a brother. It doesn't matter what they've done, okay? I actually had a viewer, Scott Daly, who asked a question like, what do I spell it out for me? What do you mean people are afraid of retribution? Well, I'm thinking nobody wants to be sawn in half and, their body burned and ashes strewn. I don't know that it goes to that degree, but You take an oath about it, don't you? All right, so you may be disturbed about the Freemasons, but what makes you think that anybody in law enforcement in Delphi or the surrounding areas are Masons? Well, again, these are hand signs that are known to be Masonic rituals and or mudras. This is, again, a thing that often used in witchcraft. It is a power symbol. Now, what I did read, and this is just like kind of an open book. This was, I think, on Pinterest from a Mason, a proud Mason, who basically said that yes, they do have hand signals. Most of them are universal, but every lodge has their own. So are they signaling something only known to them? Well, we don't know. It is a possibility. Let me also read you this from Portfolio. There is something called the philosophy of the hand, which I believe dives into esoteric hand symbols. Esoteric symbols are powerful and subtle, and I believe Masons and those in the know use them as sort of a protection and or sort of a way to leverage whatever they are doing. Now let's take a look at this video.
Okay, I want to stop it right here for just a second because they were talking about mudras, and we're going to look at some of the hand signals that are kind of weird. My cat's just knocked something down in the kitchen. I could hear it. I love my pets. I really do. I really do love them. They're very naughty, naughty children. Uh, but yeah, going back to the things that they take an oath about, and then what was the next thing? I forgot, but maybe it'll come back to me. We'll go ahead. Look at this. I thought
It was very weird that you have all three of these guys standing there with their hands, this way, left over right. And some of you said in the comments on the hand signals video that this is just a way that people, men stand this way and do this in the Midwest. But why do they? That is my question. Is it a league of Freemasonry? Because you wouldn't necessarily know. Is that why you have a lot of people in this same pose? This one was weird to me, though. Think about it. Unless these guys are all left-handed, you do everything with your right hand. Most people do. If you're going to say, hey, wait, whatever, if you're going to protest, if you're going to make any kind of gesture, it's probably going to be with your right hand. But they've got their left one covering it. So you can't easily protest, can you? I'm just wondering. I don't know. I'm just wondering if that is maybe a reminder to themselves to keep quiet. This is a break.
Okay, let me tell you this. I did recently read from one of the Masonic books that it's an old book about their rituals. And in it, I think it's the first ceremony that you do. You put you put your right hand. Now, they'll say on a Bible, but let me tell you something. It doesn't have to be a Bible. Even though a lot of Freemasons do say that they're Christians, and I'm not saying they're not. I think a lot of people are maybe deceived. But if that is the religion that you are following, at least outwardly or whatever, it will be a Bible. But you can still be a Mason, and you can be any religion. You can take that oath on the Book of Satan, the one that Anton LaVey wrote. Okay, you can swear on that. So it's not always a Bible. All right. But what they do is they put their right hand on whatever they're swearing on, and they take their left hand, and has the actual, the little oh, I'm having a brain freeze. The little thing, the V like thing, the
it's not a protractor. It's a tool, but it's in the the Mason thing. They take that and they point the sharp part, to their heart with their left hand, vowing, okay, with their right hand, they're putting it on the Bible, and with their left hand, they are swearing an oath of secrecy. So therefore, it is their left hand that covers. You understand what I'm saying? When I saw all these men standing there, I thought that is so bizarre. People don't stand like that with left over right. But if you're a Mason, it would be kind of normal, right? Because it is your left hand that is that is taking that oath with your left hand. So it is over. Now, I can't prove that, but what I can say is that ritual is in there, and that is what makes sense to me. What do y'all think? Check out Shane Evans' fingers. They're the laced and the fingers pointed. If that is not, in the Masonic handbook, then nothing is. And that's weird. Who does this to stand? You're crossing, you're lacing your fingers, but you've got these two crossed. That just doesn't make any sense. You're pointing down. What the heck, Shane? Okay, so does this prove that they're Masons? No, it suggests that they are. You betcha. You betcha. That is just my. Okay, since then, a lot has happened since then. I've shown the picture. Numerous people have shown the picture of Nick McClellan. It's a Facebook post, and I think it's from Tipton Lodge number 33, something like that. And it says that, he's got a picture with some of the brothers, and he is a master Mason. That means he is at least the 30th degree. All right. Now, Nick McClellan is a Mason. Also, we know, because I've shown the pictures too, Brad Holder's a Mason. Now, hypothetically, all right, we don't know. Hypothetically, if Brad Holder is a Mason and Nick McClellan is a Mason, Nick really can't tell on or want to prosecute Brad, right? Because that's breaking the bond of brotherhood. Now, I realize that Nick would have to. That is his job. But how much would you try to get out of that? How much would you... let's just be honest. How much would you try to say that that's a bunch of, horse poo? Because you wouldn't want to have to face him in court. Because what you going to do? You're really between a rock and a hard place if Brad Holder is involved. But it seems to me that would be a very good motivation for keeping things quiet. Okay. Also, there are some things that I found in Freemasonry. I can't even show the pictures. I've got the pictures from a very old Freemasonry book. It is very violent. It is, I don't know how to say this for YouTube. It involves removing this part of your body, okay? And they have some symbols and some things. They even wear that on an apron. It's got a weapon and it's got a body part, all right? Say what you want. I'm not going to be in any kind of society where I'm expected to wear such things or even say or pretend whatever. But that is, dive deep in it. Again, I can't show you that on YouTube. I will definitely get in trouble for that one. My opinion. But being a Freemason doesn't make you a criminal, does it? No, it doesn't. And this is just, in my opinion, anything that requires secrecy, it creates an atmosphere of crime, evildoing, whatever. Because if you have that atmosphere and you know nobody's going to tell on you, no matter what you do, what you going to do? If there's no consequences, really, then you have free reign to do everything. Okay, now that sounds harsh, but let me show you this. I came across this video. It may have been on Miss Behave's channel. That's like Miss M-I-S-S Behaved. Great channel. Go check it out. I love it. And I'm thinking that's where I saw this. I don't know. I've been doing so much research over the past couple of days, but I came across this video, and it is talking about trafficking and law enforcement.
It is a rabbit hole and depends on how far you want to go down.
In a study with Cleveland.
Okay, really pay attention to this. I'm not saying that this was Abby and Libby. I came across this on my research into Freemasonry. I don't know. You know, you go down a rabbit hole and there's 3 others. And I included it in this video because it was horrifying.
Cleveland State, Dr. Bach collected data from offenders caught on the darknet, a web of password-protected pages not accessible to the general public.
So a lot of times we think of them as an other.
But that's wrong. The profile, typically a white male, varying socioeconomic status, and mostly connected to law enforcement, like officers, firefighters, and public officials.
When you think that this is a crime that's hidden in plain sight from trusted people right around you, that's very difficult to stomach.
They hide behind who they are and what their title.
Living most of her life as a human trafficking victim, Annette Mango confirms people she thought could protect her wouldn't. Instead, they participated.
And they would say that they're human too. You know, that's their work. Being a policeman is their job like any other person is a job. But when they're off, that has nothing to do with anything else.
A big part of why it's so hard to get out, though 3 years ago, she did.
It's been remarkable.
Okay, are you as blown away with that as I was? I mean, this woman is clearly saying it is, you know, a big thing. It's not even just a local department. If we cannot trust the people who say that they are here to serve and protect us, then what choice do we have but to speak and to give these children a voice? Like, who's going to do it? If they don't do it, and that's your dang job, if we can't count on you, who is going to? Now, if you think that's bad, let's go on to Morgan County, Indiana. Jeez Louise. Let's talk about a guy named Luke Jobs. Now, Luke, good old Luke, he was a 911 dispatcher and a volunteer for the Paragon Volunteer Fire Department. Yay, Luke Jobs, you're a great guy! Woo-woo! Not so fast. Now, good old Luke was arrested for, oh no, CP, child. Yeah, so good old Luke is there, you know, dispatching for 911. Does that make you nervous? Because it does me. What could you cover up? What could you not respond to so quickly? Huh? Tell us, Luke. And this. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here because I'm pretty much at the end. I'm going to go back to some of your comments. Let me ask you if you were as horrified. I was horrified that that's what the lady that was trafficked that finally got out. Did you catch that? Or were you listening? She was talking about being trafficked by law enforcement because they said that's their job. They're human too. And basically, in the whole of that interview, I didn't put the whole thing on there, but in the whole of that interview, she talks about how, you know, they feel like when they put on the uniform, then they're going to do the right thing. But once they take that uniform off, they're going to be who they want to be. All right. Uh, it was horrifying because yeah, if you can't trust law enforcement, if it's not the Freemasonry covering up, then you've got this whole ring, and it's like I said, it's not like just one place; it's everywhere. It is everywhere. Um, let me look at your comments. Let me just say this: Four Pits, you are cracking me up. I was trying to stay serious. You are cracking me up. Ah, all right. I am way, way far behind, and there are so many good comments. Let's go. Let's see. Let's get past that. Yeah, I think we talked about this, Mommy Wolverine. You just did the Scottish Rite Museum this summer. The place feels spooky. I remember you showing me photos of that. Uh, Interestingly enough, that courtroom that Judge Gold presides in has a lot of look of Masonic Temple. I don't know. Is it a coincidence or not? Uh, but what I will say is, okay, the Scottish Rite. Let me just tell you real quick. When you're a Freemason, and I saw some people saying you can buy your way up into degrees. Yes, you can, and you can complete degrees really quickly. Some people take years and years to go from being an apprentice, which is like the ground level, to being a master mason, which is the 30th level. But once you get to the 30th level, your other degrees like 31, 32, and 33 is really an honorary degree. Okay. Uh, and not as many people as you think get there. It is, you have to be well trusted, okay? But when you get to be a master mason, and especially when you get to that 33rd degree, then you can go into, it kind of branches off. You can join the York Rite, you can join the Scottish Rite, or you can be a Shriner, all right? And I'm sorry. I just talked to someone last night, late into the night, who found out her family were 2 of them were 33rd degree Masons. And yeah, the things that you find out, it's horrifying when you think what your family has to do to obtain and maintain these degrees, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. Um, Let me go down here and catch up a little bit with you. Someone had asked me to mention something. I did see that. Uh, yeah, this is where we're talking about buying your way to the top. Uh, Interestingly enough, Four Pits, I just found this out. There's a place in Alabama called the Devil's Playground as well. Very interesting. I think I might look into that. You're talking about the area in Indiana is very weird. And Hiawatha says some places or towns just have an ominous aura about them. Wicked, if you will. Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of people. I've heard that from a lot of people about Delphi. I've never been to Delphi. If I ever go to Delphi, you will never know. I will be going incognito. Ah, okay. Let me go up just a little bit. I missed something important. Okay, Annalise says Freemasonry goes back at least to medieval guilds and a time when banks didn't exist. The harsh words were to protect knowledge of money and skills. Yes, it does go back quite a long way. Quite a long way. Kay says the same with Bohemian Grove, the elitists. Yeah, and let me tell you something. A lot of those elitists are Masons. Just because you're Mason doesn't mean you can't be something else as well. uh, because you definitely can. I've listened to many people who were several things at once. Freemasonry, just a Freemason, just being one of them. Uh, let's see. Four Pit says, "Do I have dogs?" Yes, I do. I do. I have two dogs. Um, you can probably hear one of them barking the other room. Um, David Rogers says, uh, "It's spooky the way the Bohemian Grove and this Odinism gig mirror each other." Yeah, it really is. Uh, if you are familiar at all, if you just look up Bohemian Grove. There you go. There's you a big old rabbit hole to jump in. Uh, Samantha has a good point. If there's no corruption, why would a secret brotherhood need to be secret? And why the oath about not telling on your brother? Yeah. And I mean, it's not just a regular oath. It's like, did you hear that? If I break this, then, basically he's saying, then if I ever tell the secrets, then take my, body parts and basically, how do I say this? Saw them off and burn my bowels and, throw it to the four winds or whatever it was. Yeah, I'd never take a vow like that. Like, what if you had to say? I mean, imagine it's a ceremony, okay? What if you had a marriage ceremony where you were standing up there pledging, you know, uh, to be faithful, and I'm a faithful person, but a lot of people aren't. So, what if you had to stand up and swear in the marriage ceremony that if you break this covenant that somebody saw me in half and burn me? Like, what? How many people there'd be well, there wouldn't be any divorces, I can tell you that, and there probably wouldn't be many marriages. uh that's just my opinion. All right. uh oh, hi Watha, you were telling me it was a compass. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where my brains just went out to lunch for a little bit. um okay, let's see. Now, what's this? Herschel, hello. I had to pull someone in for discipline, and he had a Masonic decoder ring on. The next thing I knew, he was flashing Masonic gang signs. I looked at him and shook my head. Look, see, here's the thing. Here is the whole point to this Freemasonry thing. They use hand signals, but they also use runes. Okay, just like the Odinists use runes. They also have certain things, like it depends. Maybe not in standard Freemasonry. I mean, I don't know. But I know when you get up into some of the other branches, there are things that are very important. And some of these things are sticks. Do you see how close? Let's say you have, according to the affidavit, they said that Purdue professor said it was more like a fanboy. Yes, it was Odinism, but it was somebody who didn't really know what they were doing. But what if they did know what they were doing, but they weren't an Odin? What if they were a Freemason or a something else? Any of the other kind of, religious beliefs. Um, because there are a whole lot. You've got, a lot of groups use this: Wiccans, pagans, Odins, Freemasons, black and white witchcraft, Satanism, all this kind of stuff. They all use these kind of things. And then there are a whole lot of other religions that I didn't even mention, okay? A lot of different things. And when you practice witchcraft of any kind, I'm just going to call it witchcraft. I know somebody's going to come at me for that. I don't know what else to call it. But when you practice a craft, okay, like that, you often, and maybe some of your covens or maybe some of your groups or whatever, can use rituals in their own way. All right. It's just like when you study Freemasonry, there are certain hand signals that are universal, but every lodge has their own as well hand signs. All right. So translate that into everything. Um, I think what the Purdue professor was saying is it's not strict Odinism. Maybe somebody who is a fan, or maybe somebody who just does it differently, and we don't even know what that is. But if you have a good mix of Freemasonry and throw in some Odinism and some other stuff, remember on another live I did, we talked about how even witches will use scriptures from the King James Bible as part of their spells. All right. It's a mixture, it's a conglomeration a lot of times in what people do. So, here you go. Uh, Hello, Amanda Bell. Autumn, good to see ya. All right, I want to get to a place that one of you said, please mention this. Yes, Kelly, that is very significant. 33 is the age of Yeshua when he died. Yes. And that, look, when you get on up into Freemasonry, you will find that unlike what you may have been taught or believed in the lower ranks, that it was like kind of like Christianity. They use all these biblical references. They do. But you will find as you get higher and higher that it is meant as a mockery, okay? Not a true belief. All right. Let's see. Uh, yes, ASMR. That is, I mean, you think about it. People, yes, some people have gotten threatened for a long time, and just depending on what they said. And some people, I understand why they were threatened, but it wasn't until that 136-page memorandum came out, the Franks motion came out, everything hit the fan, right? I have so many people that are not friends of each other anymore over this whole thing. It seems like everybody just really got aggressive on whatever side they're taking in this case, whether they're pro or anti Richard Allen. And Odinism or whatever. The lines were really drawn in the sand after this. And I have seen the deterioration of so many relationships, so many friendships. I'm very lucky in that the people that I call friends have been like we have no issues. All right, we're all on the same side. Um, for pets, I'm gonna throw this up here. You got me rolling. You do. Uh, okay, let's see here. Let's keep going. Um, Talking about who is sending signals to who. Well, I think a lot of times, I think they're making a statement. I think sometimes it's not directed to one person, but if you're making a certain signal or you're doing a certain thing, they know that you are just reiterating your own oath to not tell, or the secret safe, whatever, or I think it's sometimes in general, it talking about the stand that you are taking. But then, yes, there are signals to other people, and I don't know all the Masonic hand signals. Dang, I don't even know very many of them. Uh, but let me go back to that point where we're talking about mudras, because that is actually used in a lot of. I got somebody came at me on this video about this. It's not always witchcraft, okay, as you think of it. It is used by a lot of religions, but it is a power thing. And although your religion may not use a mudra as in a spell, a lot of people do. A lot of practitioners of some kind of craft do use those as power rituals. All right. So, is it Freemasonry? Is it Odinism? Is it something else? Well, I don't know. It could be a mixture, but we know some of them are Masons. So, uh, yeah, Kelt, I've had a lot of people tell me this, that you had a very good friend who was a Mason. Um, yeah, it is the higher up levels. And I will say this too. Um, Sometimes it is a duality of personality. You know what I'm saying? They live a dual life because they have to. And there's like, I could go on forever about what happens and the reasons why they are forced to do so. Sometimes really good people get caught up in a situation they can't get out of. And then some people who you think are good people just aren't. So, it's one or the other when you get to the upper levels. But getting out is pretty much it's not going to happen. All right, you're not going to be able to face the retribution or the I mean, if you're in business, like, you're going to be blackballed. What happens is too high a price for a lot of people to pay. So, yeah. Is Mike Patty a Freemason? I don't know. I do not know. I've wondered. I will, I'll, as far as what I know, I had, like, years and years ago, my mom dated a 32nd degree Mason, and he was very secretive. He was, I couldn't stand him, let's be honest. He made my skin crawl. She loved him. And in the end, they didn't work out, but he was very, very, he had a lot of health problems. But no matter what, and he had a farm. So he was a busy person, and anything can go wrong. If you know about farming, anything can go wrong at any time, and it's an emergency. No matter what was happening on the farm, no matter what was going on with his health, he could never miss his meeting. So I always thought that was weird. I mean, like, if it's not that serious, why do you put your life in jeopardy and your business in jeopardy to go to a meeting? I'm just saying. Uh, Let me keep going. I want to try to find that one comment. Especially, I don't even know how long we've been going, but yes, Samantha. When lawyers, judges, and law enforcement are all in the brotherhood, there is no real justice because it's all preordained. Exactly. Exactly. So this is why, my friend's friend told her that this case will never be solved because it's too high up. There are too many people involved. And when I say high up, I am not talking about Carroll County or even up into Kokomo or even into Indiana. If it is as they seem to think, it goes much higher. So as long as they're being protected, yeah, who's going to solve this case for real? They need to arrest somebody, right? They need to arrest somebody because people like you and me, we're never going to stop asking questions. Uh, Now, again, was Richard involved? I don't know. I don't know. Not, I haven't seen a whole lot of evidence, but like I said, throw all those cards on the table. Let's see what we got. If he's guilty, put him in jail or keep him in jail. Um, let's see. I'm looking for your comment. You said mention the you said to mention the Freemason team. I'm looking for it. I saw it when I was doing the video and I couldn't stop. You're right, Digital. A lot of presidents were Freemasons. Um, but anyway, somebody said mention Freemason team. There was a certain something. You might have to put it up here again. I did see it. Uh, Very interesting. Uh, David Rogers says, ask yourselves if the Masons believe in and worship God. Once you have that answer, apply that to Delphi and Flora, and you'll understand where. Okay. Well, Freemasons can believe in any god, not a certain god. So, I mean, they have to pick one. If that makes any sense. Okay. That's the Denver airport. Oh my God. We need like 2 episodes for the Denver airport. Good Lord. Uh, let's see. I know. Uh, Wisdom Sleuth says, Kelly, I followed Summer Wells' case here because of that and the 1% motorcycle club connections. Yeah. Did you see that? The motorcycle club, that was in my last video. Did you see that one vest with the Freemason thing on it? So, they're everywhere. Everywhere. Um, All right, I am looking and looking for that comment and I cannot find it. I am so sorry. Um, you were talking about the Freemasons Club, Freemason something of 2024. Please, if you're still on here, please tell me, please put that in there again and let me know what you're like. Is there somewhere I can look that up? I can't remember. I might see it when I watch this video back and I look at it was in the comments on the screen. So I don't know. So all right, we've talked a lot. I know everybody doesn't agree with this theory, and that's okay. I'm just telling you what. Here's the thing. When I started looking at Delphi, I looked at it like you would any other case, right? No, I didn't come into this. I didn't even mean to come into modern true crime. I was telling stories, y'all. I was just having me a good old time telling stories about vintage crimes. Um, but when I decided to jump into Delphi, and I accidentally did that, uh, I never expected. I thought it was still going to be a basic red rum case. All right, tragic, all this stuff. We're going to cover what's going on. I wasn't looking for sacrifices. I wasn't looking for Freemasons or Odins or corruption. I wasn't looking for any of that stuff. I was just looking for facts. I was looking at, the story and really, honestly, how Richard Allen fit into it because I thought, like everybody else did in the beginning, that he was obviously the guy, right? They got the right guy. They arrested somebody after all these years. I didn't go into this with any kind of preconceived notion or to find out anything nefarious. You just do some basic questions, and you're asking reasonable questions, and you keep finding out. Well, this doesn't make sense. There's so many contradictions here, and then you start looking around and before you know it, nothing makes sense. And you're looking at trying to find truth. And you can't find truth because nobody's telling it. That's why. And then you have to ask yourself, why is no one speaking truth? Why? Why the secrecy? Why are people just not saying, "Hey, I know who did this. This is, what I know about this person." Why? Why? Well, they're afraid. But there's so many different directions. We've talked about this over and over. All the different nefarious people, between motorcycle clubs that may or may not have anything to do with it, the trafficking trade of substances and possibly humans. Then you've got the religious factor, you've got the Freemasons, you've got, the cult activity. Like, my goodness. You realize the truth is not an easy thing to find. And you fall down a rabbit hole not because you're looking for it, but because it's right there and it doesn't make sense. You have to figure out why it doesn't make sense. Oh, thank you, Mother of Dragons. That's sweet. Where I'm from, most officials are Mormon church members. We caught a tractor thief with LDS background and had to get a prosecutor from out of the county. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, and it's kind of like that, here, uh, in this case. But look, who you gonna find? Who you gonna find to be a judge, to be an attorney, to be whatever, who is not involved in this? Good luck. But anyway, I wanted just to bring this up and let you know why I think what I think, how I got to this place, and why, after all these years, is it going to be true? Is it going to be true that this case will never be solved, like Boys on the Tracks? I hope not. I hope not. I'm doing a lot of praying. Like I said, if you're praying people. But I will tell you this as we're kind of winding down. I'm going to say except for new and breaking news, and probably not so much documents. But for new and breaking news, I am going to say that I will definitely always cover Delphi for that. I'm going to be looking at some other stuff. I honestly think if we don't look at some other things, we might all crack up. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. You have no idea. I never, like, y'all, I never put any kind of anything. I know it comes up on a live stream naturally. It's just the settings. Like, if you're monetized, you just do that. But I do very much appreciate everything. And let me tell you this: uh, I found a case. Now it's not just one case, but let me tell you what probably my next live video is going to be. Besides members only, that'll be Sunday. And if I can get this together by Sunday, I will go live Sunday afternoon, and we'll talk about this one. I don't know. I want to keep it under wraps, but let me tell you this: it is a very horrifying, beyond horrifying thing. Okay, and if you think Delphi is bad, but this is not a single case. It came to my attention because of a single case that actually is fairly recent in Alabama. Somebody sent me this, and I was like, holy crap, what is going on? And so I thought, this has got to be just, one of the weirdest things, and it's a one time thing. This doesn't happen. And I found out. I found out. You know, you fool around and find out. I found out. It is very horrifying, and I'm just scratching the surface of this. Once again, it's a topic that is going to make people mad, and it should. It should. But it is worth a lot of people looking into. A lot of you wonderful diggers, you web sleuths that help so much with everybody's investigations and finding out stuff. I've got a couple of things. They're all lumped together because it is one problem, and it does have to do with transportation of illegal things, but it is not what you think. It's not children. It's not substances. It's not people per se. Uh, this was mind blowing. So I hope that you will come out for that one. Whatever day I do that, I'll let you know. You'll know by the title. You'll be saying, "Huh?" Because that's what I said. What? All right. Let's see. Yeah, you have a lot of good comments on here, and they're all. I'm glad I've got this program because a lot of times it's hard to find stuff, and it's great when I can see it up here. And everyone in the audience, that have a lot of people that watch on the replay. So, go ahead and I'm glad they can see everything that you're saying. I repeat it, remember, because I throw this onto a podcast for people who just want to listen on another platform. So that's why I repeat what you say so they know what we're talking about. Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Let me just go through these last few comments because they're good before we say good night. Janie Lane says, just makes no sense to me to put Nick McClelland with little to no experience in the position of prosecuting this case. It, and I'm not saying, I heard from multiple people that he did very well at the hearing in June as far as how he presented himself. I would think in a case like this, though, if you want to get a conviction, that you would want to bring in a special prosecutor, just somebody who has had a lot more experience. I wouldn't, if I were an attorney, I would not want this kind of case to be like dumped on me with no experience. I think that is a little unfair. And we'll see. You're talking about oh, here we go. Yes, it was David Rogers. Thank you for putting this back up. Yes, Silky, will you mention the Carroll County All Freemason Team 2023-2024? Yes. I don't know who that is. Tell us. The Carroll County All Freemason team, is that like a sports team? Is that am I completely missing this? Was this like a league? Uh, or maybe that's just something I need to look up because I guess it would have. Okay. Okay, very interesting. Thank you very much, David Rogers, for that. I will be looking for that. That will probably answer a lot of questions. Um, let's see. Uh, Digital says some of these rabbit holes I'm in now, I wouldn't even go near till I had followed this case 2 years and nothing added up. So I had to reconsider everything. Just saying, yeah, exactly, exactly. You know, I don't think a lot of people think that some of what we say is like just conspiracy or whatever. It is theory. It is theory. But they think it's just, we're trying to be whatever conspiracy people. No, it's people who are logical, who are used to looking at true crimes. I've studied crime like forever as a hobby. You just tell me, like, name some serial killers. I can tell. I'm not supposed to say that on YouTube. Name some of these people. I can tell you exactly. Tell you all about them. But the thing of it is they all make sense. Whether it is because they have twisted brains, or trauma, or whatever the case is, the cases make sense. Um, and so I went into Delphi, like I said, just thinking that this one was going to make sense, like every other case. And you find out that you cannot make this make sense. Not when they tell you this is where it happened and this is when it happened, and then you look at the area and you're like, horse feathers. It did not happen in the middle of the afternoon with all these people on the bridge. I'm sorry. You're full of crap. Nobody heard anything. Come on. You see, you start having things that don't add up, and then you have to question, well, why would they say that? Why would people think this? Why? And then you start going down the rabbit holes because you know it's not right. We're not stupid people. I guess a lot of law enforcement or whomever's doing all this, they think we are, but we're not. So, yeah. Um, all right. Let's see. I'm going to wrap this up. Okay. I think I understand what you are saying, David Rogers. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Kay. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, if you need a break, from Delphi, which I clearly do, look at my hair. Definitely need a break. On my other channel, Avalon Cottage, I am telling ghost stories. Okay, they are true ghost stories that I have gotten from all over the place. I would love for you to come and join me. I would love to hear your own. If you got any ghost stories, any premonitions, dreams that came true, anything that's a little out there, that's a true story that people find very interesting. Strangely enough, a lot of people find comfort in these stories. So I'm going to be doing that in between times. And members only. Probably we will try to have some fun and blow off steam. That's what we do. And I probably will release some of our members only just so you can see what we talk about. Most of the time, we are just cutting up because that's what y'all want to do. So we'll probably be looking at some crazy Christmas stuff. What about that? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had good debates. Not everything. We're not going to agree on everything. That's okay. That's how you learn. All right. Iron sharpens iron. If we disagree, let's respectfully talk it out until it makes sense, okay? That's how you solve a problem, not by fighting and name calling and all this crap. Everybody has something to contribute. That's my opinion. All right. Oh, good, Janie. I'm glad you became a member. Um, all right, yeah. Please, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do that. Thank you, Mother of Dragons. Yeah, a lot of people watch on the replay. That is fine. That's good. It's wonderful. Whew. All right. um, I hope you have a great week. I'm going to be working really hard the rest of this week. And so I will see you all on Sunday in one place or the other. And stay safe, y'all. I hope you get all your Christmas shopping done and your decorating and your baking and all that. It's a rough season. So, take some time for you. You are important. But whatever you do, just remember to stay silky. And I will see you later. Bye bye. Love you bunches. Bunches and bunches.